Hey guys, we are recording this from the lovely Riparian Preserve over in, what town are we in? Chandler? Gilbert. It's pretty nice. We're looking at a whole bunch of ducks. Too bad you guys can't see what we're seeing, but in the theme of today's topic, meditation, it's kind of fitting because we're in amongst nature and yeah, it's pretty fitting. So once again, welcome to the Ctrl-Alt-Reset podcast. Today's episode is again on meditation. And I have with me my guest, Beth, and she's a certified, do you want to start over? Let's start over. Okay, we get one.
A redo?
One redo.
Yeah.
Hey guys, welcome on this cloudy, kind of sunny day from the Riparian Preserve over in Gilbert. I'm joined with me today on today's episode on meditation with my good friend Beth. And she is a certified meditation instructor. So with that, I would like to just frame the reason for today's topic. Beth, you had said to me that through every tradition or every kind of culture, there's some sort of like meditation practice. And whatever people are trying to achieve, like stress reduction, connecting with, the universe, whatever their goal is, that it really starts with meditation. Is that accurate?
I did say that. I said if anything
Maybe you can explain on that a little bit.
Sure. I said anything that you're going to practice with all of this, I call it the woo-woo, right?
Yeah.
Or the new age, or whatever you want to title it, awakening. I feel like the center of anything that you try should be meditation. So that is, I feel, the key to everything. Obviously, you can learn a lot from everything, right? Try everything, do everything, go explore. But meditation should be the foundation of your practice in awakening.
Nice. And we definitely have a different opinion about that. It was kind of, it's hilarious.
What's our opinion?
Well, it's just very different.
Okay.
So my opinion is that it's got to be structured, that it's, I have a very busy monkey mind. I don't know, I'm sure some people out there can identify with me. And so when I look at meditation, I view it as a form of quieting that never-ending chatter. And what I've also read is that it also helps if you're setting intentions for the day. And as I'm learning more about kind of intentions creating your reality, I'm trying to be as intentional as I can in my life these days. So, I'll get up in the morning, 5:30, meditate for 20 minutes, and then I'll work out. So it's all part of like this routine. You have kind of just a different approach, don't you?
Maybe. I think that that's great to incorporate it into a routine if you need that, like even setting an alarm. And like that's your meditation alarm.
I do.
To remind you to do something is never a bad thing.
Yeah. What do you think about setting an alarm to stop you from meditating? Because I do that.
If you want only 15 minutes,
yeah.
Perfect.
Okay, all right.
Right. Because I've been gone for hours at a time, right? And then what, right? So, no,
What's the longest you've ever meditated for?
For hours.
Jeez.
Yeah, but
I can't even imagine.
It is what it is. So, But yeah, I think that if you need structure, then that's what you should be doing.
Yeah.
What I think when we were discussing this, what I maybe was meaning to say is that the letting go part is the key.
Yeah.
So letting go of your meditation while you're in it. So if you're going to, and I know some people who do this, they're like, okay, I'm ready, and they sit there and like, I'm meditating, and and that's never going to work,
Yes.
right? And so if you're restricting yourself and you're saying, okay, now I'm meditating, and now I'm doing the dishes, and now I'm working out, it's like a forced habit.
Sure. What about forcing yourself to let go?
That's also forcing. So what I'm trying to say is the key is the letting go process. And
Okay.
that is something that some people, it might take years to fully let go.
Yeah.
And you were talking about your monkey mind, and that is the reason why we're doing this all, is to let go of the chaos. It's not only in our mind, but in our cells, in our nervous system, in our bodies, in our world around us. Once you learn how to let go, and it's not going to happen overnight.
Mm-hmm.
It's really not. You're going to, even sometimes I sit there and I'm like, I should be doing something else, right? Like it's not a continuous flow.
Yeah.
Even if you get 5 minutes where you're lost and you realize time went by, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Because then everything has now just shut off.
Mm.
And then we had talked about us being a receiver. So then we can then receive.
So I love that, and I think that's what I try to do. It's hard though.
It is. Even you said the word try.
Yeah.
So you're putting effort.
I am, because like when I set up my schedule, I sit down, I have this whole little like corner of my room. I got like a meditation pillow, because sitting in a cross-legged stance or position is kind of uncomfortable. And so like raising my butt up a little bit makes it a little bit easier. I have a blindfold that I wear, and then I have noise canceling headphones.
Okay.
For me, that tends actually, and then one other practice that I do is that when I start, I take some deep breaths first, and then I read this book called the Silva Mind Control Method, and that was written back, Joe Silva, back in the 60s. And so, they didn't have any noise canceling headphones or anything like that. And we have some people behind us, but this is where we're at.
Maybe we should ask
That's
them
right.
what they think.
Maybe we should ask them. Anyway, I was going to, and then they went away.
They walked away.
I think that would have been cool. And so I get all set, and then like the Silva method, point my eyes up like 20 degrees, and then I count backwards from 100 to 1. Now this probably sounds like the worst structured, like you're doing it, you're not letting go. But I will say that when I get down to 1, and I've counted, in 2-second increments, 100 to 1, I feel very at peace. And that's kind of what the method is supposed to invoke is like this trance-like mental state of clarity that's really good for visualization and anything like that.
So you're just using, like I said, the nervous system. You're just calming yourself down.
Yes.
And whatever method you need to use, use it.
Yeah.
There's no right or wrong way in any of this.
Yeah.
A lot of people say go into your breath. And so going into your breath is just literally making you count down, right? So it's doing those rhythmic breathing to calm everything down so you can relax. If your nervous system is firing, you are never going to be able to clear your mind and sit there for hours.
Yeah.
Never, absolutely not.
Yeah.
But the process that you keep trying and keep counting or breathing or whatever, if you have to listen to something or put a blindfold on, do whatever it takes to get there so your body can then know it. And then after your body realizes like, wow, this is amazing, you're going to get there easier and easier. There's no saying that the first person who ran that 7-minute mile did that the first try.
Yeah.
And so you have to keep practicing to get there. And then the more you know, like the muscle memory, your body is just going to be like, oh my gosh, like I'm going to get there faster and faster. You might only get to 50 when you count and you're there.
Yeah.
And so that's whatever process it takes.
That's true. And when you were talking about how it's like a learned effort, part of the research that I was doing in preparation for this episode was like I was going back to like the Vedic traditions and like the yogis, and there's a lot of history even before it was started to be documented, like 1500 BCE. So thousands of years before that, people started to understand that this practice helps calm you down, helps kind of elicit some very real health benefits. Like, as I was mentioning in the beginning, like 30% reduction in stress among like study groups. But now as we're getting more into scientific evidence, you know, one of my favorite guys who uses a lot of the science to understand what meditation does is Dr. Joe Dispenza. And also Neville Goddard. So those two brought some scientific evidence, and then start getting like, and I love this type of information because it really helps activate my intellect. And so Dr. Joe Dispenza has like multiple different meditations. And one of them is kind of similar to like a meditation to activate, and I hope I'm saying it right, activate the Kundalini energy. Because in like ancient traditions, Kundalini was a way to activate the energy, and it's like the spinal fluid to, instead of rest at your base of your spine, to actually like push it up and start maybe activating your pineal gland. At least that's what they say. And part of that activation can help you have like kind of crazy experiences, right?
Yep.
Like it activates like DMT, which is a naturally occurring substance in there. I've never had it happen. I'm still hopeful. But what I have realized is throughout the day, I just am more peaceful. I have more patience. And anytime that I'm experiencing a really tough time, I can meditate for 5-10 minutes. And just doing that changes the whole like mental activity that's going on in my head.
You're letting go. Yeah.
Yes.
So
All right.
yeah. So it's really, honestly, there's so many facets to why meditation is good. I could say 100 different things.
Okay,
Like
go.
no, it's really just everything.
Yeah.
So whether you learn, your body you're teaching your body how to slow down. Because in this world that we live in, we have sounds everywhere, and traffic lights and stoplights and stress and kids and work, and you don't even realize, like if you've ever went to the country or camping or to the beach or whatever, that there's silence. Like we live in complete sound, like a hum. There is no place in your day usually where you're not just being bombarded by even chemicals and things you have to do, and you have to go to the grocery store, and my car's not working, and like all of these things, right? We are so ingrained and used to being on this heightened level. Like Joe Dispenza says, like our epinephrine and norepinephrine are like off the charts. We are constantly in the fight or flight. The lion is constantly chasing us in this environment. We don't live in, the 1800s where things are quiet and calm and you accomplish one thing during the day. we are, like we
And we're
talked
used
about,
to
your
that.
wife
Yeah.
has 17,000 things on her calendar each day.
Yeah.
That is a constant stress.
Yeah.
Your body is under the chemicals, as Joe Dispenza says, and the constant fear that I'm not going to get it done, or I'm not going to do this or whatever. The meditation is teaching you, like you just said, when you do run into a battle, which might just be a red light, right? Or somebody cutting you off in traffic, you can do a count to 5 and your body remembers how to calm down. And then you're not flooding your system with those chemicals and cortisol and all of those things. And your body is like, cool. I hope that person has a good day, and you don't react anymore.
We've gotten so used to that I think people at some level think that that's the norm.
They feel that it's the norm.
And as Dr. Joe Dispenza was saying, is that like your body is so conditioned that when you don't get that, then you start feeling a little bit uneasy because you don't have that. It's like
a little weird.
You're more addicted to the, the pain, the suffering that you know, rather than the quietness that you don't know.
And so then you talked about Kundalini, which is just energy force, chi, flow, whatever you want to call it. There's 100 names for it. I'm like very simple-minded person. So I'm actually teaching a chakra meditation tonight, so this fits in. So you have your energy centers, right? So if our energy of our body, of our human container, it's a toroid field, so it's constantly recycling energy, hopefully, right? And so it's going up I'm kind of maybe doing it backwards. This spine, right? It's going up the center channels of these little energy vortexes. So it's like little ones and then big ones, and then it goes up. And so if those are blocked or not spinning correctly or whatever, you're going to then have the stress. You might have a disease, right? So blocked energy causes disease, dis-ease. That's what it is. And so pretty much everything in your life is because we're just not aligned and coming to our center, which is the energy force of our center, and aligning with who we're supposed to be. We're not listening. We're constant in the fight or flight. We're just not stable and grounded and controlled, right? So meditation teaches that and remembers, right? Remembers your body into how we should be functioning. We're only functioning, I feel, at like 2% of our potential. Not our brain potential, but like our bodies. Our bodies are receivers. Our bodies are antennas. Our bodies produce energy like the master who can throw the energy ball. We have so much potential, and meditation can bring that out in us. So not only like healing yourself and talking to yourselves and talking to your body, talking to your organs and telling them how to heal and that it's okay, talking to your emotions, telling your body it's all right.
How do you talk to your organs?
How do you talk to your organs?
But you're also a Reiki master.
Yes.
So that probably helps you understand how meditation can benefit people more, right?
Meditation slows you down, right? So let's say your life is just a little bit slower because you aren't in the rat race anymore. You don't have that urgency to go and do the 700 things anymore. You take things with intention, like you said. You're setting intention for the morning, but what are you setting the intention for? To have just a good day, to what? Like even when people eat, are you eating for intention to nourish your body? What food choices are you having? So it's the same thing. What are you choosing for yourself for that day?
I'll do intention of how I want to be. So I'll be like, I am patient. I am generous. I am loving. And so those, and this also goes back to some of the meditational, learning that I had done, was that some of those mantras, actually, when you say it out loud, help, because a lot of the ancient, folks would do Om, and they would, have like an audible exhalation. And I just, during this research, I'm like, when you have that audible exhale, it increases the nitric oxide generation 15 times. And that helps calm your parasympathetic nervous system. It aids in immune, like, response. So all these healthy benefits. So yeah, the intention is kind of, I say it out loud of how I want to be. And I mean, it's not like, it's, I remember it throughout the day.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and that's what meditation can teach you, is setting that intention. But you had asked, like, how do you talk to your organs?
Yeah.
It's
This I want to
learning.
know. Yeah.
It's just learning, like through meditation, you quiet your mind, you quiet your body. And that isn't an overnight thing, but, and then that makes you go inward. So like, who am I? Like, why am I here? You start asking yourself all of these questions, right? The esoteric questions of what's my purpose and all of those things. And it really makes you like feel your legs. Like you're sitting there and you said, cross-legged style, and you're like, I hurts, my back hurts. And then you go there to that pain. You go there, what am I doing? How am I sitting? There is actually books about the posture of meditation and how it helps align the chakras in your spine and all of that, so energy can flow better. So then you start to learn about yourself. And then you can even there's so many layers. You can go deeper and deeper. Like, let's say you have, a kidney problem. You can go and talk to your kidneys and learn about your kidneys down to the cellular structure. And you realize that they are just energy, just like this plant and these ducks and this bench or what, right? So your body isn't even whole. It's actually just molecules put together, and there's space in between, right? So all of our body is
pretty much
just
all space, aren't we?
Is just energy pieces put together, and you don't even know yourself if you don't know every part of you down to that cellular structure. So you can lay your hands, like if you have a wounded knee, and direct your knee to have the intent of having healing and a better day and more fluid when I walk, and whatever it is. So that's also meditation, is self-healing.
Well, and you had done that when you had done a Reiki session on me. I lied down, and you were like putting your one hand on like my head and one on my chest or like my leg. Was that for you to channel energy in me, or was that just helping you discern kind of where energy is blocked, or talk about that a little bit?
Sure.
I mean, if we're talking about energy and having these mental conversations, obviously you're not, hey, how's it going,
No, you
to your
can.
liver. Oh, you
No,
can?
you can.
Oh, you can?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, then I'm learning.
Yeah.
So,
how did I do that for you? That, for me, for when I did that to you, I was just trying to send you good energy, right?
Okay.
And where you could feel it. But I'm never like, I don't know how to say it. I am helping your energy meet with mine. So I'm never like giving you anything.
Okay.
I'm helping you raise your vibration.
Okay.
So if you've ever been around like super spiritual people, or in like a great, church or whatever you want to call it, and you feel that feeling, it's just because the energy is vibing a little higher.
Okay.
And so you want to be around those people because you're like magnetized to that higher vibration.
Yes,
so
for
it's
sure.
just trying to show you come up and meet me in that area. But yes, so energy workers, whatever you want to call them, they do that. They do like a body scan, and then I can literally feel where you're having pain, whether it's physical, mental, emotional.
It was awesome. Like I think I ended up crying a little bit because it was just so clearing.
Yeah. But back to meditation. We could talk forever about energy, but
I know.
it really is all that it is. Energy is really the center core
And it's all linked.
of everything.
Yeah.
Of everything. But through meditation, you then, like from my own experiences, you become that antenna receiver. And so I am a true believer.
You have more control of that too.
Well, yeah, absolutely. But I'm a believer in universal consciousness.
Yeah.
And so what that means is that all knowledge exists in all times, in all space, in all realms, in all dimensions. And so it's there for the taking. It's just that with our world that we live in, where we're constantly bombarded, like I said, with bad food and chemicals and noise and anger and fear and frustration and stress, and I could go on, we're completely blocked on what's really like stepping outside of that box or outside of that matrix, they always call it.
Yeah.
Or I always refer to the movie WALL-E when they're just on their screens and the power goes out and they're like, oh, we have a pool.
By and large.
They're not aware of their surroundings. And so when you do meditation and you start learning about the energy and that you can actually feel and heal yourself and quiet your mind and have a better day at work and set intentions, you then can start to turn that screen off and realize that there's a pool in your front yard. Like, you know, that there's this whole world out there, and I'm getting chills just talking about it, that are for you.
Yeah.
So what I'm trying to say by that is that once your mind is calm and there's not, you said the monkey mind where it's just constantly doing this in the background, it's like closing all those screens on your phone or your computer and just shutting it down, and then it can run better. That's exactly what it is. And so all those little things aren't firing. And so there it's like, wow, I can function better and I can receive better. And then you're realizing that, wow, I have like this little voice that says, take a right, you know, instead of take a left, and you avoided that accident. Or you have that little thing in your mind that says, turn on your phone now and look up a job, and it's the one that you wanted. Like, all of these things start to happen for you because the universe is there for you.
Yeah.
It is created for you and for you to succeed. We are just not paying attention.
Yeah.
And to pay attention is through quieting.
And then
and
you can focus. Like, that's what Dr. Joe Dispenza, he like makes sure that he communicates, is that, you know, where you focus your attention is where you're focusing your energy.
Oh, absolutely.
And I
Thoughts
feel,
are things.
yeah, and I feel that in today's kind of society, the world today, there's so many things that are vying for your attention.
Yep.
And they want your attention.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think through meditation, I've been able to really take back that control of that attention, and therefore my energy. And so now I get to dictate where I put that energy, and things are happening left and right, as you were mentioning. Like, my intuition sensors are kind of going off, where, like, I don't
It's
have
wild.
It is, and you just feel a little bit more in tune.
Yeah.
Synchronicities
Yeah.
happen,
People call you that you need. Yeah.
and I, you know, I for one have had a lot of problems, like talking with my mom, without getting kind of hung up on whatever it is. She pushes all the right buttons.
Or the wrong ones.
The wrong ones, yeah. And it gets me, it used to get me really, really aggravated. And, you know, after talking with Kevin, who I had interviewed on the last episode, he had mentioned that the relationship with my father is really good. And it is. It's like I call him like all the time. But my mom, it will happen like more on a natural basis. But I can just, through meditation, I know that when I get on the phone with her, I'm not triggered anymore.
Yeah.
And I can listen to her.
Yes.
And I'm like, oh, that's what's important to you.
You've been dissolving your ego.
Yeah.
And so we're just hitting on all the points of these beautiful meditation practices that can do so much. Like,
it's amazing.
Yeah, your body's not reactionary anymore, and you have the ability to slow and do that, count to 5, whatever, and then realize, wow, this isn't about me. Maybe this is about her. Relationships come together, work situations come together, things happen for you. It's all because you are now letting go.
And that dissolving of the ego is very powerful, because I'm able to listen where I used to try to prove,
Or react.
like, you're not seeing my point.
Yeah.
And that's never helpful. They never saw
Appreciate
the point
that.
I was trying to make. Never. And then I would push harder. I'm like, you're not, you know, like, so it, you know, meditation has allowed me to really see the truth that in order to be more powerful, you actually have to let go of control.
It's the opposite of you think, right?
Yeah,
Isn't
yeah,
that crazy?
it is.
I feel like we do live in an opposite world, because you were saying like the proverbial they. The world is set up to not want us to know about this, I feel.
I feel too.
Like it's like this big secret, and it's
Yeah.
really not a secret, but like the average person like doesn't really like understand like how would this ever help me, and like
I think the
how is
Western-
letting go helping me?
I think the Western world is almost separate from the Eastern, because the Eastern traditions have had this for a long time.
Yeah, it's just should be, and it had this really. It's just our autonomy. It's our sovereignty to
Yeah,
have this, and
yeah.
so whenever the world was made, it's part of humanity, and so this is how we should function.
Yeah.
And the more you do it, and like you've talked to meditators or yogis, and they can levitate or walk on water or do all these things. The more you do it, the more your world opens up.
Yeah.
So the more time that you give yourself to calming, the more, like, I want to say gifts, but the more your world opens. And
Yeah.
then you not only start to hear the little voices like turn right or take that job or ask that girl out or whatever, you're starting to see explosions of crazy things. And then downloads and even in my personal experience, things that you can't dream of.
Yeah.
And so it just leads you down this path of then asking more questions of, how far can this go? And there really is no end. As long as you have an imagination and you're open to it. Back to the 7-minute mile story, nobody thought that a human could run a 7-minute mile until someone did it.
Yeah.
And so then once he did it, like 2 days later or something, the next person did it because that potential was put there.
Yeah.
And so it's the same thing. Like, what is our human potential? Endless. Absolutely endless.
And I think that
Or
is
6-minute mile, I don't know. Whatever it is.
Yeah, I think it's a 6-minute mile.
Don't quote me
Maybe
on that.
maybe we might be down to a 5-minute.
You guys know what I mean,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Whoever is out there as a runner, comment,
Quote.
and tell us what it is.
It might have been the 6-minute mile.
Yeah, I think it's probably 6 minutes.
Anyway, but you get what I'm saying.
Yes. Now, I think a key element that started me on this journey, like I read that, I was like fascinated with the conversations of consciousness and ego and all that stuff. And then I read the book by Thomas Campbell, My Big Toe. And TOE, T-O-E, stands for Theory of Everything. And in the first chapter, he's like, this scientist, physicist, is recommending instituting a meditation practice. He's like, just for 3 months, try to meditate 20 minutes a day or 20 minutes in the morning, 20 minutes at night. And he basically guaranteed you will see a remarkable change if people are not coming up to you saying, what are you doing differently? You're going to see a change in your world. And I did that, and sure enough, I was seeing a different world. And it was something that I had to experience, though, because one thing that, my dad and I like to talk about now is all of this stuff, Alan Watts and consciousness.
All
and
the big guns.
He's going
Yeah.
down the rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Like he now is like, YouTube is his best friend.
Yep.
But he wasn't doing meditation. And so I'm like,
To
Dad,
experience it.
you're reading and you're learning about all of these great things, but you're not really fully understanding why is it important unless you experience it for yourself.
You feel it.
And Thomas Campbell in that book is like, I can tell you all of this stuff that I've experienced it, but don't believe any of it until you've experienced it for yourself.
Yeah. There was a quote today that I was reading about, you can tell everyone how beautiful the ocean is, but until they've seen it, they don't understand.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing.
Yeah. I mean, so realistically, the purpose for this episode is really just to help share some of the benefits that you may have heard about, read about, but maybe not experienced yet. And
let's talk about like what it is though, because I have so many people that say it's boring.
Yes.
I just can't do it.
Yeah.
Like I just get nothing out of it. I
I
can't
know
sit
people
still.
like that. Yep.
Like why would I do
I
that?
used to
Like
be
I'm,
like that.
I'm just so boring. Like
Yeah.
it's just
A waste
for
of time.
those woo-woo people who smell like patchouli or whatever. Actually, if you research it, you will find the most successful people on this planet are meditators.
Mm-hmm.
And it's obviously proves that fact. But meditation for me, and I know we have like a little bit different views on that, is anything that calms your mind. So if you're a runner and you want to hit that runner's high, that's your meditation because that's where you let go.
Yeah.
And so if you're a mom doing dishes and you just get into your groove and you're just with your AirPods on and you're 10 minutes alone, whatever it is, it does not matter. Some people paint or color.
A friend of ours was talking about how he dances.
Yes, he's dancing and getting into that letting go space. Some people hike. I was just watching that Formula One show, and the race car driver was spinning around, and then they're like, "What is he doing?" And he was finding that sweet spot, and so therefore he was floating. And so that was his meditation. That's what got him into that. So it doesn't matter if you're sitting Indian style on your cushion.
That's right.
And burning a candle and all this woo-woo crap, I call it, because I don't believe that is how to get people into doing it.
Yeah.
It has to be modernized. It has to be okay. Like I even did a meditation class one time when we were meditating to Metallica. And so it can be fun. It can be cool. It can be easy as your drive to work. If you've got 10, 15, 20 minutes, you put on something soothing and you just let your mind go. However you want to do it.
Yes.
I don't care. Everybody
Obviously,
has something
stay
different.
alert and attentive if you're driving.
Yeah, but if that's your only 20 minutes of your day that you have, people are busy. Utilize it. Don't sit there and swear at the traffic. Utilize it. Put on something in your car, even if it's a guided meditation. Do something and just try it. Just see how it works. So there's multiple forms of meditation. It's just whatever gets you there.
I think that's important because when people listen to this, watch this episode, they might be like, well, that doesn't sound like something that I would be interested in.
I don't have time for it.
I don't have time.
I don't have quiet space.
And is it your perception, perspective that just doing it is more important than forming it into any specific practice? Because with all of these different ways to meditate, really anything can be a meditation.
Anything can be, and I've talked with that about other people, whatever makes you happy.
Yeah.
Because happiness is that key to bring you to your center also. It's what brings you happiness and what brings you joy. I'm trying to find that. So if it's painting for you, you might be able to find that meditative sweet spot where you can let go and your body's rejuvenated, right? So.
And don't be so hard on yourself.
Yeah, just try.
I was really
give yourself
hard.
5 minutes.
I was really hard on myself.
And then you give up.
And I'm like, it's not working.
Same thing.
I'm not doing it right.
You go to the gym for a week and you're like, it didn't do anything. And so then I stop, right? It's the same thing. So it does have to be pleasurable. It does have to be fun or enjoy it, or you have to get something out of it. But even if you do a challenge and you challenge yourself, I don't know what your dad did, or 30 days, or I even say a week, giving yourself 15 minutes to just sit in quiet. I don't think I can think of anyone that I know right now other than my fellow meditators that has 15 minutes out of their day just for themselves in a quiet space for themselves, not feeling guilty, not writing your grocery list, not doing anything, but taking 15 minutes out of a 24-hour day to just be and seeing how that affects your life. So no, it doesn't have to be, you have to set your alarm to do it. Some people might.
And even,
you know what I'm saying?
Even
so
if your mind is
or what,
racing, it gets better.
It does.
So if
just
you
your
try
muscles recover after a gym, right?
That's right. So if you try it once, try it twice.
Keep trying it.
Keep trying, because you'll, just like golf, when you hit that sweet spot, you're like, that's what it's all, meant for. and then the rest of your game is terrible. But like, you don't give up. You keep coming back, and just try it.
And we're so lucky right now. Just do it, like Nike says. But we're so lucky that we do have, like your dad, like YouTube and all of these apps now.
Yeah.
We live in this world where we have information endless information at our fingertips. There's zero excuse. You don't really even have to pay for anything. There's so many guided meditations or music or whatever that will help you.
That might be a good place to start, do you think? Like a guided meditation?
For people that can't sit still or, whatever, absolutely. I'm not a fan of guided because it just drives, because then I'm following that and then I'm like picking on, like, I hate their sound of their voice or whatever it is.
Yep.
So it kind of distracts me. There's certain times and places that it's good, like in groups and things. But yeah, if you're starting out, have someone talk you through it. And then that way you can learn how to settle your body and your mind. And it's amazing.
Yeah, there's like a
100,000 apps you can use. There's, like, I use a lot of the Monroe Institute things.
You had so when we had sat together and you had done like Reiki. I don't know if that's the word. Like, do you do Reiki on me?
Did I do Reiki on you?
Where you like laid hands and I was laying down. You had these headphones on me that. Was it was like binaural beats?
I put binaural beats on for you and noise canceling headphones.
So I think this might be a cool thing for all the people that like to analyze or like have a little bit of, anyway, information overload.
Well, let's explain what that is.
Okay, so it gets your brain into a vibratory state, essentially through meditation. And this is done through lots of science today, that when you meditate, your brainwave frequency changes. And usually it goes down. And binaural beats, it has a vibration of, like, let's say 100 hertz in your right ear, and then my left ear, and then 107 hertz in my other ear. And what happens is that those 200 hertz frequencies end up canceling each other out, and what you end up hearing is the 7 hertz wave. Now, why that is helpful is that for some people, it helps get their mind to artificially generate that lower brainwave frequency that helps in calming the mind. And there's multiple different levels. There's beta, then there's alpha, then theta, then delta. And gamma. And a lot of monks have been measured when they start doing like heart-based meditations and like love coherence, they end up generating a ton of gamma.
Yeah, so I actually have the headphones that record your brainwaves.
And so you would...
So yeah, I usually get into a theta.
That's pretty cool.
Pretty quickly. It is pretty cool. But just to talk about the binaural beats, and so it also creates a Hemi-Sync.
Hemi-Sync.
And so
that is from the Monroe Institute.
Yes.
So I learned about that. Yeah, Bob Monroe.
So what it does is the two hemispheres of your brain normally are, like, in our world right now, they're firing separately. And so the binaural beats actually make them fire together and work together. And so then, wow, what opens up is amazing. And then you can get to that different frequency. And so it's calming your mind so it can beat together versus like a crazy.
I use that. I mean, and then there's YouTube videos that just type up binaural beats and you'll find
frequency is everything. So I learned so much in Egypt with these frequency chambers, and I actually had...
You had just gone there last month, right?
Yeah, a few, like, when it's now 2.5 weeks ago. So there was actually a chamber that had like a binaural beat naturally.
Really?
And it beat to my heartbeat.
What?
Yeah, and then eventually it caused a kundalini. But yes, you would go in, and the resonance of this room somehow solidified to your heartbeat. So it was doom, doom, doom. It was incredible, and your whole body was vibrating, but it would go to everybody's heartbeat.
Wow.
Yeah, it was pretty wild. So yeah, resonance, frequency, it's all that. Meditation gets you there.
So we've talked about kind of frequency. We've talked about, the breathing. I do want to talk a little bit more about the breathing, or at least that's what I wanted to talk about. I hope that you want to talk about it too.
Sure, let's do it.
So what I was researching was that there's so many different breathing, like timings, and all of them produce like various effects. One thing that I thought was super interesting is, have you heard about like the box breathing, where it's like 4 seconds inhale, 4 second hold, 4 second exhale, and then another 4 second hold? I didn't know this, but actually the Navy SEALs use that before they go into battle, because it helps calm their nervous system, but it then also makes them super aware. Like it increases their senses.
Yes.
I didn't know that was like something. So
it's a thing.
Yeah, even Navy SEALs are meditating, and because they find the benefits. There's the box breathing. There's Dr. Joe Dispenza talks about holding your breath for 10 seconds, and kind of doing a number of other kind of like exercises. And as I was looking at the research, all of that holding, before I did this research, I wasn't really holding my breath very frequently. I was kind of just doing long, like an even inhale, even exhale. What I learned is that a lot of the yogis and people who had kind of culminated these traditions found that a longer exhale, like a twice as long exhale, actually helps, regulate the parasympathetic nervous system a lot better than just doing even breathing. So all of this is just information. Sometimes too much information is not a good thing. This is just education-wise, I think, helpful to know that even just holding your breath for a couple seconds can actually make that effect of calming your brain and calming your nervous system even that much more powerful. And so that's why I started to implement that.
Yeah, it does. So are you familiar with Wim Hof?
I'm not.
Oh, okay. So he does breathing techniques that are probably, I want to say, maybe the most well-known.
What's his name again?
Wim Hof.
Wim Hof.
Wim Hof. So I'm sure a lot of people know about him. I've done his breathing methods before.
Okay.
But he actually goes into scientific research. So he's been invited to like Harvard, Yale, all these places, and they research him and what his body does during breath work. And he has scientific-based research papers out there that prove all these things. He can actually even heal disease. And so they injected him with, he does the ice baths too, but they injected him with, some toxin or whatever, and through his ice baths and breathing, his body actually self-regulated and healed and got rid of the toxin.
Whoa.
Yeah, so, but he does like these little things where you do his breathwork routines, and before you do it, you do push-ups or whatever. And so let's say you can only do 10, but after his breathing, which is, takes 4 or 5 minutes, you can do 25
Whoa.
with no effort.
Really?
Yeah, or I've gotten up to where I've held my breath for over 3.5 minutes to 4 minutes.
Whoa.
And it's just because you are then hyper-oxygenating your cells. And so you're breathing off the CO2, and you're breathing in more oxygen. So a lot of breath work, it makes you feel alive because you have more O2, in your circulatory system. So, but it does. It does regulate. And so everyone says go to the breath, right? And so that's what they're talking about is taking a deep breath. Even like kids, you're like, take a deep breath. Right?
That's right.
Right?
My
And so we don't even know we
son
say it.
got injured just the other day.
Take a deep breath.
Riding a bike. He was doing one-handed, and he decided to go off the curb trying to hold himself steady with one hand, and he's like, bam, face planted. And as he was crying, he's like,
Breathe.
and I'm like, breathe, just like every parent says. And it instantly was like,
just regulates.
Calm down.
Yes.
And yeah, it's super powerful.
Imagine that, we need to breathe. It's the first thing we do, right? As a human, we come out and we breathe. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's well helpful.
In my research, breathing is one of the only things that we don't have to think about to do, but we also can affect with thought, like that we can change.
Emotion.
Yeah. So we can hold our breath, we can do that, but it is definitely something that we need to do to survive. Like, we can't stop our blood from pumping. We can't, obviously.
But we can hold our breath.
We can hold our breath.
Yeah, it's pretty good. And then you get into the chanting and all of those things with breath. I think too, yoga practices, incorporate breath and breathing exercises into the yoga. So it's all combined. It all has their effect.
My dad has started to do fire breathing, where he does like the, and he's like, man, I feel great after that.
Right, and so there's even some where, like I learned recently, like you inhale with one nostril, you blow out the other. Like there's so many techniques or whatever. But for anyone, like, it's just so overwhelming because you turn on YouTube and you 17 people are doing 17 different things. Just breathe, like take deep breaths and clear out the old air, get in new oxygen. It's gonna waken you up. It's gonna calm you down.
Yeah.
It just do something. And it doesn't have to be overly complicated. It doesn't have to be a method. It doesn't have to be someone else's research. It's you, and it's you learning about yourself.
Yeah.
Right? So taking that breath might be the first time in the day where you're like, whoa, like what am I doing? Like, where am I? What's happening? Like, right? Like, how am I feeling? Have you ever asked yourself how you feel during the day?
Center yourself.
Centering yourself.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Self-regulating.
Yeah. Well, let's
like
not
a child.
Let's not make it too difficult. Just breathe. Any last things that you'd like to leave our audience with?
I don't know. Like, the possibilities are endless. If you don't try, you're not going to know. We put so much energy into, what movie are we watching on Netflix? What new job do we have? What kind of car do we want to drive? What are we eating for dinner? But we don't put a lot of attention in ourselves. And I think that is not egotistical. That is not any form of guilt to love yourself and to put some energy back into yourself so then you can help others. And so it's kind of like that airline thing where you have to put the mask on first to help somebody else. We really do have to go back to listening to our bodies and realizing what are we doing? Like, if you're not okay in your world and you don't like your job and you don't like your surroundings, you don't like this or whatever, you can change it by just sitting for 15 minutes a day and your whole world can change. And so it's that easy. You don't have to go buy something. Literally, it's free. This is like the best medicine for the world that you want to create, because you had talked about how like your thoughts can influence, quantum physics has already proved that our thoughts create our reality. And so if you're not thinking on the right plane, if you're not thinking the right thoughts or the right intentions, your world will never change. And so to change those thoughts in a better, more positive way, to create a better life, is to sit still for a second and rethink how you're thinking and redo your whole world by just calming it and letting go.
I love that.
Does that make sense to anyone?
It makes sense to
it might sound like a lot,
whole
but it's
bunch of people.
Super simple, and just a minor tweak in your day, even if it's 15, 10 minutes. It's free.
That's awesome.
So yeah.
I love that. Well,
and if
thank
anyone
you.
needs help, let me know.
Yes.
I'm available.
So, Beth, instructor here. She can help you. She's doing a guided meditation tonight. I will probably post this today if I can. I'm not sure. Anyway, we will make sure we post information so that you can look her up and get in touch with her. Because, yeah, I love what you said. It doesn't have to be overly complicated.
No.
But the power in resetting the thoughts that go through our head that create our reality is so powerful. Like, everybody needs to be doing this.
Everybody does.
And I don't say you need to as like you're wrong or bad if you're not doing it. Me and Beth, we just want the best for everybody in the world. And this is scientifically proven. I've experienced the benefits. Beth has experienced the benefits. I just hope that you'll take some of this and try it out for yourself and start creating the world that you want by being able to set that intention. And, you know, what world do you want to live in? So, thank you for joining us. I hope you have a great day, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.
All right, thanks. Bye.